bar. This bar here, okay, good movement. Still a little bit restricted, but we hold here. We come back down on this bar. Look at the volume. I'd label that as supply, lowest close. However, it doesn't achieve a great deal, does it? We don't break through our area of support, our terms of a valid break. Then we hold here, and then we hold here. Look at the volume. Look at the spread. What is that bar? Ease of movement. Look what we achieve on half the volume of these bars. I do see wave one, wave two. We come all the way up. We retrace. We hold this higher low is part of the consideration. It's additional strength. I see buying, buying. I see no follow through from this down bar. Then I see ease of movement. I think, okay, now we're ready to take off. I'm aware of the close. It could be firmer. Doesn't that suggest to you that perhaps now we're going to have a rally and take off? Due to the risk and due to the entry, I'm here on limited contracts. Let's unfold this. I'm going to see how you guys would manage this. Looking at the chart, what do you think our first obstacle would be? Yeah, we'd be looking up in this vicinity. And then this bar prints. What are your thoughts? What do we see emerging? Near resistance. And that selling is better than the volume on that buying. It's twice as high. Yeah, partial cover. Now, partial cover. Limit order wouldn't be hit on this bar. I think it misses off by a tick, but when that bar closes, you have to. How do you manage the trade in respect to the rest of your position? What are your thoughts here? Does this bar suggest a reaction? Well done. That's exactly it. Well done, Wendy. It could. Yeah, it could. The biggest emphasis that I'm taking away from this is that we see supply at resistance greater than we did over here. Arguably, we don't retrace particularly deep like we did, but this has twice the volume of this ease of movement bar. However, I'm aware of the trading range, the higher lows, this potential buying zone. I want to try and give the trade room to breathe. But how would you feel if you read this and you come down and it stops you out down here? I don't think that type of stop here, due to the aggression of the selling in this bar, it's not as if it had selling like these two bars, is it? If it had selling like this on average volume, okay, expect the reaction. I'd still feel comfortable to have my stop under here. But when you actually see ergo aggressive selling here, like, well, that's telling you, we could retrace pretty deep. And I don't want to be under that psychological pressure. I am unprepared, or I am not prepared, I should say, to go through that potential torment. So I'm paying myself here by moving my stop closer to relieve any potential situation that could evolve. Have I conveyed that correctly? This bar does not display no supply, does it? So my stop would be moved due to the nature of this aggressive selling here. My stop would be moved, as Wendy pointed out, one tick above commission. Okay, it was limited contracts, 79.95 up here. Is it the best trade in the world at this point? No, but we don't know this is going to evolve, do we? Buying, ease of movement. Wouldn't we expect this leg to now break on through? That's why it's positioning myself here. But no, the market has other ideas. So we see some selling. Okay. So my stop would have been here. And what happens? It dips down through my stop, hits me, boom. What do you think the market is hinting here? So I am stopped out here. What do you think of this bar? It kind of dips down, tests to reverse and close firm. It traces deep, but kind of feels as if we should be going higher now. And that's okay. It does feel like a situational bar. It does feel like that, apart from the spread. This situational bar, you can't trade because it takes up half the size of the trading range from low to high, from low to high up here. It's a very large situational bar. So stopped out. Okay, thinking market is going to continue. That doesn't happen. Okay. What's on that bar? A little bit supply. Look at the spread and the volume. Much lower than it was over here. Come down. And now you're feeling pretty good about that stop. About the way this market is unfolded. But now I'm like, oh, wow, this is very interesting. Because what's this bar kind of displaying? Yeah, supply. So where do you think the market is going to test now? back down here. So let's see what happens. Okay, it's quite an interesting bar. Why do I say it's an interesting bar? What am I observing? The analog here to here. Come down. A lot less volume, wouldn't you say? However, what am I really looking at here? This is less volume if we're looking at the analog, but wouldn't you say that the spread and the volume are kind of in sync? That's the bar here. That's the volume. You compare that bar with this volume. Couldn't you say with, what, 35% less volume, we get 35% less spread? So these two bars are actually extremely similar. And this one did not fail. And this one actually closes more off the lows than over here. I'm like, ooh, this is very, very interesting. Everybody see this? Everybody understand what I'm conveying here? Yep, good, good, good. I'm just taking you through my thought process here. Nothing there. What am I looking at here? Think about this, everyone. What's this? This is the anchor point. Look at the volume. Anchor point, volume. What are we trying to break through here on? Volume that is 75% less than the anchor point. What do I always preach about anchor points? Yes, we may have absorbed some of the volume at this level over here, but this is extremely weak. So what do you think I'm thinking here? Kind of a situational bar kind of concept. We actually dip under this low. Would it be aggressive to perhaps buy stop the highs of this bar on the premise that this will hold? And then look what happens. What are your thoughts here? What do we notice? What do we observe about this bar? If you don't buy stop the highs of this bar, what do you think you do via the close? What do we see emerge? Buying, buying, no continuation, buying, no continuation, which is actually the same, and no supply here, by the way. No supply proceeded with further buying. Brilliant. Buy this. It is a 2-bar spring. Perhaps this is the time we're going to take off. And obviously there's two pieces of data over here as well. We actually break this little supply line, and this is like a change of behavior bar, wouldn't you say, for this downtrend, this little move down here? We can see that the spread increases, the volume increases, and it accomplishes a great deal here. This is very different to the other bars. This bar is very different to these bars because these are technically down bars. Agreed? This is a down bar. We see demand, but here, this closes above 1, 2, 3 closes and above gulfs these bars. This bar here achieves a great deal more than this bar over here. And considering the context that we have this in the background, it makes this bar much more bullish, this configuration over here. Ergo, here I'm increasing my size as I was doing over here because we have no supply and we have a better analog of buying.